We don't have to do like 9 months of fight training for these insane
Yeah.
sequences. So I'm grateful when it's just a couple of hours of making fight noises. That's okay by me.
Gotcha.
I mean, zero time in the makeup chair. You can you don't have to shave. You don't have to you don't have to shower if you don't want to. You're in the booth by yourself. Who cares?
Yeah. I think Invincible kind of takes the front of a lot of the things that I've done, especially now.
Is that all you got? I will never work for you again. We're done.
Very excited to talk to you both. Stephen, you and I just chatted not too long ago about Love Me, and now we've
Uh-huh.
got you in another great animated role. And this one, I feel like this season, the maturity level for these characters has kind of evolved where it's not just action. Now there's so much great character development. Did you feel that you approach Mark differently this season than in seasons past?
Um, yeah, I guess, for his life, there's many dimensions that are opening up. There's like he has to contend with the fact of realizing who his father is, and I think once you shatter that reality, you come to face some hard truths.
And Gillian, for you, this character has just been so much for so many seasons. It feels like you get a lot more this season than you have in the past. But it's not just about kicking butt and getting into the action sequences. I feel like just right from the outset, the two of these characters have a lot of really important decisions that are made, and there's a lot of like strong reaction. Do you feel that maybe some people are not appreciating because this is in an animated form how great of the characters and development is happening here?
I feel like this is the very rare job where it feels like the audience has really embraced and loved a show based on a comic. So I have no complaints. I feel very lucky. I'm personally a fan of the show. I'm glad that people are a fan of it, but it is also fun as the show goes on and the characters age for it to get complicated and for new dynamics to develop. And she's grappling with, I think, the least supportive parents on the show. So she's got a lot to work through. But no, I'm always thrilled with what they give me, and I'm I'm always surprised by the twists and turns of this show. I think they do that really well, where they stay true to moments that, diehard fans are going to know and love and expect, and then they'll change things so it keeps it really interesting for us.
And whenever, those of us that are on the receiving end watching these shows, and we always kind of wonder how much of this is done in like a silo where it's just you by yourself. How much of your voice work, Gillian, did you do by yourself or with others?
I think I've always recorded by myself. And I mean, we're very lucky in that we have great directors and writers and producers who are always there guiding and honing and shaping. So it's not like I'm doing it in total isolation, But yeah, I wish, I mean, what a cast. This is like the greatest cast. I wish I got to record with people because I'm such fans of everyone, and it would just make it more fun. But I feel like they find a way to make it all feel cohesive and coherent, even though I think for the most part we're recording separately.
And Stephen, for you, the you've been in so many iconic roles now in your career, and this is one where it's not physically you on screen. Do you get stopped by people on the street that recognize you and say like, "Oh, I love Invincible. It's been such an important show for me"?
Yeah, I think Invincible kind of takes the front of a lot of the things that I've done, especially now. Um, yeah, people love the show. I'm not surprised, but I'm also pleasantly like, um, so validated. I think we're all trying to make something that, I, I have a long thesis about it, but like if an animated show in America can really kind of slice through and hit so many big range of demographics, that's a new thing.
And for you, do you have any regrets ever that you didn't actually get to don the costume and wear it physically, or is it kind of a blessing that you just get to see it on screen and you get to just wear your normal clothes?
Oh yeah, I don't um I'm okay. right now.
Gillian, what about you? Do you wish you could put on the Eve outfit?
You know, we don't have to do like 9 months of fight training for these insane
Yeah.
sequences. So I'm grateful when it's you know, just a couple of hours of making fight noises. That's okay by me.
Fantastic.
And do either of you, and Gillian, we can start with you, do you change your voice to play the character younger, or do you just let it be your voice and just play the character based on what's on the script?
Thankfully, when we started the show, they essentially told me to just use my voice. So I'm not really thinking about that. But it is a really interesting acting challenge when you realize that it's truly, I mean, it's helped enormously by the animation, but for one aspect of storytelling, you know, it really is just your voice. And so that is sometimes really interesting when they've kind of put together like an animatic and we're listening back to a sequence with lines we've already recorded, and I'll be like, can I please re-record that? Because now that I'm seeing it with a visual, like I want to do better. So it is a fun acting challenge for me of like really communicating just through your voice. And you can tell that I like to make a lot of facial expressions. I'm like, you know, you realize that you're like, oh, I've been leaning on that, you know, as an actor, and now I really have to just hone it all into my voice. So I enjoy that. I feel like it challenges me in a new way.
I will say, Gil, you know, like sometimes I'll do booth work where unfortunately, we don't get to work together as much, but where I get to hear her tracks. She conveys subtlety and a groundedness that I think, you know, that's a very difficult thing to land. And so, yeah, you know, people are contributing. Gil is really contributing to like the overall tone of this show that's like making this successful and really wonderful. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's phenomenal. Best season so far. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Word on the street is you cut ties with Cecil.
Yeah. It's time for a change.
In more ways than one.
What's this?
A fresh start.
Whoa! You look amazing!
I don't know. Feels a little serious.
We interrupt our afternoon classics with breaking news of an attack at Peyton Penitentiary. Early reports indicate superpowered individuals are involved.
Oh man, this is perfect! We can try out our new suits!
Okay. You can come along, but...
I know! I won't fight! I'll just watch. Let's go already. We're gonna miss it.
Hey, say thank you to Art.
Thank you, Art!
It's a pleasure.
He has no idea where we're going.
Reminds me of another kid I knew.
This character he's just kind of entered the pop culture mainframe. You know, like everybody knows who this character is. Your voice is kind of synonymous with this character. Is this something that you felt that you had to do anything different with your delivery in order to portray who Omni-Man is?
I mean, every role, every character is, you know, to some extent. I had no idea, honestly. I didn't really know the source material coming into this. You know, the impact that it's had has been, I know it hasn't surprised a lot of people. It's been surprising to me that, you know, I get stopped on the street as much for an animated character as I do for a lot of my live action things. So I'm grateful to be a part of this, this universe, this multiverse, this omniverse that is having such an impact and really telling great stories and inspiring debate about actual human issues.
And you hit the nail there with it being great stories, because a lot of people kind of relegate animated fare to being for kids, or it doesn't have the same depth that you can get in live action. When you're reading these scripts and seeing that this character is not just a good guy or a bad guy, do you kind of bring anything in addition to what's already on the page in order to flesh him out? Or is this something that you kind of feel there's enough backstory here that I can really inhabit him?
Yeah, I think it's mostly the former. Although I always bring, I mean, I think it's hard to avoid as an actor bringing your own sort of philosophy and ethical, moral. Trying to think of a word that's not judgment, perspective to a character in a situation. I think I probably err on the side of wanting to explore the effects of humanity on Omni-Man, on Nolan, and who he is, because I don't really have experience to draw on for what it's like to be a Viltrumite. So to me, that moral quandary, that inner struggle that we continue to explore with Nolan and Omni-Man is what I continue to find really interesting. Plus, there's a lot of really funny stuff this year, which I think is at least to me initially was an underestimated aspect of this show. I mean, there's a lot of really funny stuff.
And for you doing the vocal work, is it done completely on your own? Have you had much experience interacting with the other actors, in a capacity like how you would play your lines off of theirs?
We actually did get Stephen and Sandra and I got to play some scenes together. The first season, we had a couple of sessions together, which was great, and it was great to do it in the initial season and to work with two wonderful actors. Now, at the vast majority of the time with animated work, as you are just in a booth by yourself. I had the advantage this year. Most of my sessions they'd already recorded Seth, so I was playing off of exactly how he was saying those lines, and I think I hope that really shows in the finished product that it was the next best thing to being in the room together.
Well, whether it be part of, actual live action superhero films or, in Red One, where you've got, physically had to inhabit the role, is it kind of a blessing and a curse that you don't have to put on the costume for this and that you can just kind of hang out and just play the role vocally?
I mean, 0 time in the makeup chair, you can, you don't have to shave, you don't have to, you don't have to shower if you don't want to. You're in the booth by yourself, who cares? The combination of both the simplicity of the work itself, you don't have all the accoutrement, and then just the limitless world that Robert and the team of writers have can create virtually anything they can imagine. They can force us to do.
Well, it's awesome. Love hearing your voice in this. Big fan as always. Great season. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.